Well, hey, Be Joyful Church. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. It's good to be back with you. Looking forward to Advent season together. Want to share with you a little bit from 1 Peter 2:15-17. Before I do, I just have to tell you, I was driving down to work this morning, actually, listening to the news. I was talking about an artist by the name of Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny is a Hispanic artist. He's the most streamed artist on Spotify of the last year. So pretty significant. He sings only in Spanish, which is a pretty big deal. His album is called I Do What I Want. And I think that plays into what we're going to talk about this morning. I'll let you decide. But Peter's just told us, hey, submit to the government. Submit to the emperor. I mean, the local governors. Submit to the government. This pleases God. Now, let me read this to you. Live as people who are free. Not using your freedom as a cover-up for evil, but living as servants of God. He's giving this truly radical comment on living in submission to a government. But then he says, this is how it looks. Let me explain it to you. How do we live as people who are free, as it says in verse 16, but in submission to the government? With Nero as my emperor, it would just be so hard. And knowing that persecution is coming, it's just over the hill. The horizon is not bright for these people. And here's the answer, though, that he gives. How do we live as if we're free, as free people? Live as servants of God, which he says at the end of verse 16. Live as servants of God. So Peter defines freedom as servanthood. I think if we were to read that to a secular person or a person who denied the reality of God, they would really struggle. It says that to find freedom, we live under authority. We gladly obey the God of the universe. We understand our place before him. I remember when I was younger, I read a book by Os Guinness, and it really struck home to me. He was talking about freedom and what that means. And he says freedom is not the ability to do whatever we want. Freedom, in fact, is the power to submit to truth and structure provided by God. Underneath that, we find freedom. Within the boundaries of what God has provided, there we find freedom. That's where the Christian finds freedom. That's where the world finds freedom, but the world rejects that. Peter addresses that misguided idea that without rules, with only my own decisions, with only my own interpretations, I find freedom. The reality is that when we submit to the God of the universe, to his structure, to his law, even if it goes against what we feel or what everyone else around us says, that is the place that we find freedom. So let me encourage you with that. Remember what he's done for you. Find freedom in obedience and servanthood to the God of the universe. All right, see you next time.